Hello, Friday, so it's apologetics. If you've been following the videos, the things I've been talking about, we've come to a part which really looks at it. You could say it's the war of the worldviews, because there are those who see an opposition between religion and science. But it's interesting that the modern science, it comes from the hypothesis that God is rational, that the universe is intelligible. And I remember reading an article somewhere, or somewhere in a book, that many sciences came from Christianity actually, that chemistry came from alchemy, that physics came from, I don't remember. But the whole point is that it was understood in scientific circles that God is intelligible, God is unchanging, the laws of physics is unchanging, and the universe is not run by Zeus and his gang of gangster gods doing whatever they can, making arbitrary decision. And that was very important for science to take off. And there are scientists who say that people should study the both books of God, the nature and the Bible. It's interesting that there are many who think that, and here's an example, Galileo versus the Catholic Church. And contrary to the belief, Galileo wasn't anti-Bible, he wasn't anti-Christian. He believed in God, he believed in the Bible till the end of his life. In fact, in one of his letters that he wrote, he thought it was contemporary professors who were against his views because they based his Galileo wanted to base his works, his thesis, on observation, but people, they approached the subject, his contemporaries, from a philosophical perspective, from an Aristotelian philosophical perspective. But the opposition wasn't just politics, and it wasn't just religion, it was also Galileo's mentality, because those who didn't agree with him, he wasn't nice to. He had this, he didn't react very well to those people who had opposing views to him. And that was the thing, because this whole opposition was started between him and the Catholic Church. Then he constantly opposed the Catholic Church. But the interesting thing is, contrary to popular beliefs, again, he never died being tortured. He actually was in house arrest, but in a luxurious house arrest. He was in house arrest in a castle. So the real opposition is between naturalism and belief in God. Well, that's what people think anyway. But the thing is that if it would be unscientific to believe in God, then you wouldn't really have scientists who believe in God. All of them would be atheists, and you wouldn't really have scientists who believe in God. And naturalism is not just, some naturalists think that nature is all there is, but some actually think that there are immaterial things like your thoughts, for example. But there are those who believe that only nature exists, which is interesting, because there are immaterial things like laws of nature, laws of logic, morality, your thoughts. These are all immaterial. And it's very important to understand where the problem lies. It's not, and I remember I've been reading a couple of articles the past couple of days, and those articles said that atheism seems to have been, it almost seems like contemporary atheism or today's atheism is the same atheism that people had in the 19th century. They saw the stuck in the past. And these books were written by intellectuals, and they're saying that they haven't really looked into the scientific developments. They haven't really looked into the writings of those people who came up with new scientific discoveries, and then in turn they became Christian. And I will talk about why people do not accept God as a hypothesis, because clearly they just don't want it to be true. There literally isn't any basis for it. It's like an a priori. They call it like a presupposition. They presuppose the answer, what the answer could be. And I always had this issue with atheism, even from early days when I started looking into apologetics, that how silly this is that you defining what the answer couldn't be. So you set out on a discovery, but then you're saying the answer cannot be that. And to me it's just mind-blowing. And why, if you will not accept a supernatural answer, then why would you even bother looking into things? It's just pointless. You don't do anything. You just you enter into an echo chamber and just keep repeating the same things you're saying. And I think it's sad, but that people do not want to examine whether or not God exists, because there are a lot of people who after examination came to the conclusion, and then in turn they accepted Christ as their Savior, and now they're saved. So I'm really hoping that many more people will change their minds about the subject and will come to Christ and will enjoy an eternity with Him. Bye.